Hello everyone, Praise Scooter here, and welcome back to more Ocarina of Time. Last time, we did some bomb chew bowling, got ourselves several prizes, bought some beans, bullied a chicken, went upstream, bullied a frog, continued to go upstream, bullied some spiders, and now we're here. In that order. So, while we're here, in Zora's Domain, I'm gonna replace my slingshot for now. I'm gonna put it back on in a minute. But here in Zora's Domain, there are a couple things we can do for fun and also for, well, also necessary for plot reasons. But to start things off, let's go ahead and talk to the king out here. Because, I mean, it is necessary to talk to royalty, right? Oh, my dear, sweet Princess Ruto. Where has she gone? I'm so worried. Kingy? He's not going to help us. So we have to talk to some of the denizens around here to get clarification on this, but basically, the Princess Ruto he's talking about likes to run and scamper away. A scamp, if you will. I just aged myself 20 years by saying it like that. But we want to do a few things around here, not only for our own benefit, but also for the benefit of him. So, first things first, we have to do a fire run. Light a stick on fire and run it down several layers of, run it down several areas here in the Zora's Domain. Now, don't roll while you're in the water carrying the stick here, because it will put the fire out. Water plus fire equals put out. But come in here after you've lit everything up, and you will cause a treasure chest to spawn. What does treasure chest do? After I put my stick away without letting it burn. Godlike. Well, it is a heart piece that I'm fairly certain I knew of before people started putting up videos on this. Now, technically speaking, there are two heart pieces we could actually... There is one more heart piece we could get at this point that I'm fairly certain we could have gotten at this point if I had been reading my notes in advance, but we're going to handle something all at once. Now, I'm going to release this fairy in the bottle at this point and capture a fish. Because, one, a lot of times a dungeon will give you a fairy some point before a boss. But also there are several fairies fountains. But we're going to need this fish for a little bit later. But, now that we have done this little thing, also Zora's Shop. But here's the funny thing about Zora's Shop. I gotta show this off really quick. So the Zora's Shop, they sell arrows. What's an arrow? They sell fish. They sell red potions, which I think these cover 8. These cover 8, but you need to have... These cover 8 hearts, maybe 12 hearts, but you need to have a bottle open before you even buy it. And they sell a fresh fish. We just caught a fish like 10 feet outside. Also, a tunic. Like, they make sure you cannot buy this tunic by any feasible means at this point, so don't bother. Subsequently, in the Goron shop, which you never visited, they do sell a Goron tunic, as well as bombs, but you cannot even hold the bombs until you get a bomb bag. Anyway, food for thought for the time that's not now. But anyway, to kind of proceed forward, you can either take the long way and go all the way back to Lake Hylia, or you can play an extra minigame. Hi, friend. What diving game is 20 rupees? Want to play? Yes, please. Okay, pick up all the rupees I throw from here. You only have a limited amount of time. Oh, when you pick them all up, come back here. I'll give you something very nice. And he flings out, I think, 5 blue rupees? Yes. So, as long as you gather 4 of the 5, you'll make your money back. Anyway, go ahead and make a hop. Now, this is kind of a weird game. There's not a good camera angle for this. But basically, try and line up your shadow over the rupee. But you want to use the die mechanic. We haven't really experimented with too much. And just to help you a little bit, as soon as Link's... for the most part, as soon as the rupee dips below the screen for some of these, that's when you can dive to get them. You can adjust your dive trajectory once you're Once that number on the side ticks from 3 to 2 or 2 to 1, whatever that number is, I'm not paying attention to it. I was more focused on getting the rupees. But hey, we made a profit. And as you saw, if you're lucky enough, you can get 2 rupees in one dive. Also, that light's already out. Suspicious. Anyway, because you do want to play this game, because it will give you a very necessary upgrade for general movement throughout the majority of this game. What a graceful dive. Now please take this. This is scale of our kind. With this, you can dive much deeper underwater. The silver scale. Very necessary. Let's take another dive. Swan dive. Now, as you dive, that number there, see 6, 5, 4. I believe, okay, so before that makes me think it was 3, 2, and then when it hits 1, you come back up. As this NPC will say, I call him an NPC, I love it. And I'm not lined up at all. Diving here and going underwater here, if I could actually hit the mark. Come on, Scooter, you're better than this. Who am I kidding? You're not. You can actually go in this tunnel, and it's a warp. Where is it a warp to? Why, our good friend Lake Hylia. Which, yeah, you do want to come out here, because, one, there is something here that I told you guys to be getting later, and we're going to get it now. To get what? There's something already inside. Well, we're going to, just for flavor text, we're going to read that. But before we go any further, I'm going to do a couple things. One, put this on here. Two, put this on here. Don't do anything. So, this is where we're going to start. While you're here, just to make things a little bit easier for you down the road, take the magic beans that we just bought some of, and you're going to want to plant one by this house. Basically where we got a gold Skulltula earlier. Now, correct me on this if I'm wrong, comments, because I'm definitely wrong on it. When planting a magic bean like this, I think you can still release bugs into the hole and have whatever prize inside the hole pop out of the hole. So you are not forced to do these in a specific order. Now there's a few magic bean spots that I will remember being very necessary. In fact, there's one I'm thinking about right now that I might take a minute to go do really quick before we proceed forward. Debating. I'm fighting myself. I want to do this right now if I want to wait a bit. You know, the magic of editing is a thing. But before we go, we want to look at what's in this bottle. Can I read this note really quick? Looks like there's something already inside this bottle. It's a letter. Help me, I'm waiting for you inside Lord Jabba Jabba's belly. Grotto. Don't tell my father. Well, you told me not to do something. I'm going to do it. Okay. For the sake of putting my mind to rest, we're going to go do a little bit of a time warp. Not a time warp. We're going to go do a little bit of a necessity warp, I'm going to call it. So for something much later on in the quest, we're going to go... Oh, by the way, there's a piece of heart over there. If you manage to get a chicken all the way up the waterfall here and jump from there to get it, you can get that heart piece right now. I'm going to show you the way they intend you to get that heart piece and another heart piece. And a way to get the heart piece we got out here already and a different one at another point. But we're going to do some deep sea diving. And come back to the Lost Woods. Now, I will probably not... I think I remember the way I need to go. I think it's just one room back. And we have, well, a couple things, actually. Actually, while we're coming back here, something that I just remembered. Oh, no treasure chest, don't mind if I do. Something that I actually just remembered. So, nice. With bombs in the original release of this game and its sequel, Majora's Mask, there was a glitch. Where am I? It doesn't matter, I'm here to go to Goron's domain. The Goron City. There was a glitch in those games where if you had the right timing, you could put down a bomb, hurt yourself with it, and backflip and do a backflip and hurt yourself in the same frame. And via some weird convoluted coding, could basically store a bomb on your backflip function. I don't know how it works entirely. Speedrunners know this well because that's how they break the game and basically beat the game in an hour or less. I think the old shut up, Navi. I think in the original speedrun they actually used that trick to basically backflip over barriers, points of no return, backflip over invisible walls that are points of no return to get them to places they shouldn't be quite yet and advance through the game quickly. I think at this point that original tactic has been made obsolete by a wrong warp of sort. I don't know, I'm kind of, forgive my phrasing, but I'm kind of just speaking out my ass in this one. I don't speedrun this game. In fact, like I said before, this is like my second time playing Ocarina of Time, period. But we came all the way out here because we want to plant a magic bean here. Very necessary for something in the future. Very far in the future, kind of. But trust me when I say you'll want to plant that. Anyway, now through the magic of editing, I'll be back in Zora's domain. Like I said, through the magic of editing, we're suddenly back in Zora's domain. I wanted to handle that magic bean spot now because it's going to be... If I don't do it now, I'm going to forget it by the time I do my next recording session, and it's going to drive me bonkers because I'll be thinking about it my entire week off of recording. And then I'm going to forget it by the next time I start recording. And then when it becomes necessary, I'm going to go, crap, I never did the thing. It's my brain. Anyway, don't tell my father. What if I do tell your father? Unfortunately, you do.
Oh, this letter's from Princess Ruto. She's not Lord Jabba Jabba. That's not possible. Our dear guardian Lord Jabba Jabba would never eat my dear Princess Ruto.
You know, I'll buy it.
But since the stranger Gandalf came here, Lord Jabba Jabba is a little greener on the gills.
This is probably my first time I was ever introduced to an idiom. This is also definitely a translation thing that they took advantage of, but this is my first time I was ever introduced to an idiom proper. But it's a fancy way of saying sick.
The evidence seems clear. Of course, you'll go by Ruto. You can pass through here to the altar to Lord Jabba Jabba. I'll keep this letter. You keep the bottle of wizard. Take it respectively. Please find my dear Princess Ruto immediately.
While he's sliding his ass over, this is the point where the game gives you a bottle, even if you have not been actively searching out bottles. So you have a bottle at this point because you need a bottle at this point. Remember that fish I caught? You need that fish. Oh my gosh. Put some grease on your butt so you can just slide it. I'm crying. That actually sounds fun. That actually sounds like fun. Why does that sound like fun? Not for him. No, I'm not talking about pushing his ass. Oh god. No. I'm talking about greasing up your own butt and then just sliding everywhere. Scooter, that's a water slide. Let me have my dream. Anyway, now that I'm having odd dreams of grandeur, if you can call it that, we're here in Zora's Fountain, and I presume Lord Jabba Jabba. So I'm gonna get an item ready. I'm gonna get an item ready because we need this fish, but there is, surprising no one, a few things we can do around this lake. For one, look at that gold skull shell and get angry, can't touch it. For two, we can make note of something that we can't collect quite yet. I'll let you take a little look-see here in a second. Right over here. Can I look? Underneath Lord Jabu Jabu, we can't see it. It's too deep. Okay. Trust me when I say there's a heart piece down there. All the way down there. Impossible to get. But lastly, is something that's like something you would never think to do considering where you are in this game. But first of all, I mean, do this. Get this gold skulltula that's hiding in under this tree. But here you want to think, oh hey, look, a rock. Let's blow it up. Right? Oops. Don't worry. All according to Cake. It's another great fairy fountain. And there's green fire here. Notice that on some of the other fairy fountains, have had fires of varying colors. Well, this one is green. I also would like to transport you back to about episode 3, I think, at this point, if I'm remembering right, of the lore of the 3 goddesses of Hyrule. Unfortunately, her hair doesn't match. This is something that was actually kind of corrected in the sequel of this game. You're all great fairies of magic. But she would give you, like, if you want to go through the coming dungeon kind of fast, you would probably want to gather the spell. I'm not going to use it because I'm a big dumb and I don't understand how this spell works properly. Long story short, if you put me in a fantasy setting, I'm not going to be a mage, I'm going to be a barbarian. Zug Zug armor bad. Zug Zug magic bad. Zug Zug axe go swoosh swoosh swoosh. Anyway. So Ferrari's win, it takes a little bit of magic to use, but you can basically set checkpoints. Either by, basically right by doors you enter a room. Now, if you want to see somebody use this more properly, I would recommend watching just about anybody else play this game, because they know the science, they got the math down, and like I said, I'm a dum-dum. But at this point, unless you want to go back to Zora's River and use the chicken to get that heart piece that we have not had access to quite yet, or go out to and get a heart piece that's in Hyrule Field randomly in a secret grotto, which we'll handle later, you've gotten everything you can do up to this point. This is basically, we once again hit the point of, hey, do this, please. So somebody will mention, I'm just going to point this out right now, somebody will mention that Princess Ruto is inside Lord Jabba. What she does is she goes in there, she's here to feed him, but she also goes in there on occasion to take care of him, run inspections on him, make sure he's well. Well, how do you get inside a fish? You feed it. God, it's like a whale. Hey, whales are pretty powerful and can suck in a lot of things, can't they? Son of a gun! I'm not Creel! This is your dungeon, by the way. Listen, I've been forward twice, and I think this game awakened some stuff in a lot of people. Yes, I'm calling you out, people. Anyway, welcome to inside Lord Jabba. If you haven't done so yet, now would be a good time to break your shield back out, because you have Octoroks. Oh boy, this one? There you go. Because you have Octoroks. You also have... what's the name? Shabom. You have... well, a lot of people call them bubbles, but bubbles go by a different name entirely. But you have Shaboms here. If I get a lock on them. Here's the problem with Shabom. They don't care about your slingshot. So basically you have to play a game of dodge with them. But this dungeon, you will be dealing a lot with unsettling things and popping a lot of unsettling things. And I will also let you know that this dungeon was my hurdle when I was a kid. I did not understand this dungeon. Go away. Hey, let me get an item really quick, because I don't think this works. But also, somewhere in the back of my monkey brain it says, do this, because it works. It worked. Oh my gosh, that works. Does it work on the Shaboms? I'll get opportunities to check that later. So those enemies, you're not supposed to be able to take care of for a little while. But I guess today we found out you can. Now before I even pursue the way forward, I'm going to go show you something that is optional. You will probably never need to come here except for something later on. There is a little outcropping down here at the bottom of this room that you can dive under and into. What's in here? Somehow a plant has burrowed itself inside of a whale. Anyway, it's a business scrub. I don't think it gives you anything, but let's go talk with me. Yeah, useful for taking care of we'll look up the actual name of the squids, but also possibly the Shabalms. We'll confirm that in a little while. But that's all I wanted to do, is just to show that really quick before I wrap things up here. So, right, silver scale. Forgot about that already. Anyway, we don't want to be down here because this is actually a return path. This is a fail safe path, or fail state path. Let's just get rid of that Octorok and wait for that platform that we saw up top come back down. There it is. But with that, I'm going to say, everyone, thank you all so much for watching this episode of Ocarina of Time. We're inside another large being. I'm tired of being eaten by large beings. I'll see you folks next time. Take care.